Part 5. Rebuttal. Exterior Public Park. Day. Just off the main downtown stretch is a wide-open public park with playgrounds and ball fields. Politicians and the news media have taken over a gazebo. Already a small crowd is gathering to join the rally. George is chatting with Morty. Though Morty was always presentable, he somehow seems even more put together and charismatic.
That's amazing. Those results were from scientific studies?
The numbers don't lie. Schools that approve the use of fungal see significant improvements in class behavior, attendance, and participation.
Wow. And fungal was the answer all along. Amazing.
Thanks for helping inform the public.
Mr. Rafani, I believe in you. You're going to turn things around in this country. You're going to win an award someday, and I'm not just saying that to flatter you. You have my vote.
Thank you, but please stick to the news for today.
Right. Knock 'em out.
Morty takes a spot in the gazebo. George gestures to the news crew, and they roll the cameras. As George speaks, the crowd at the rally becomes more excited.
Good afternoon. You're watching George Fisher with PJP News, live on the street. We're here in the middle of town where there's a crowd gathering for candidate Morty Rafani's rally. Everyone's pretty fired up here for the number one hot button issue, the stuff that people can't get enough of, fungal.
The camera swings around to point at Morty, standing at a podium, speaking fervently. Some folks in the raptured crowd are holding signs and flags in support of Morty and fungal.
This November, your vote matters more than ever, because the future of America is in your hands. Too many of our children have fallen behind in school. They become easily distracted, socially inept, and sometimes even violent. And nobody had a solution until now. And what's that miracle cure called?
Woo! Fungal!
Yes, fungal. Never before has one product generated so much controversy. It's beloved by parents, teachers, and caregivers. It's a boon for the lonely and the shy among us. But the medical community has been working tirelessly to get fungal off the shelves and banned for good. Is that really what the public wants?
George approaches the crowd as the camera follows close behind him. He approaches Anita, standing with Matilda near the back of the crowd.
What brings you to the rally today?
I'm Anita. I'm supporting my brother-in-law today.
Wow, amazing. Do you use fungal?
Every day. It changed my life.
What's your story?
I used to be anxious and sensitive. I had trouble making friends. After fungal, I have a great relationship with my sister and a cool job. I owe my life to fungal.
All across the U.S. are people with stories just like Anita's. And Rafani's goal is to keep fungal a part of our lives forever.
Do you see how backwards this world is? Those crooks are saying it's a public health crisis. They're trying to take fungal and fungi away from us. But to take it away is what will cause all the problems. Have you or your kids struggled with autism?
Yes!
ADHD?
Yes!
Anxiety and depression?
Yes!
Behavioral issues? Poor work performance? Loneliness?
Yes!
And has fungal and fungi fixed it all?
Yeah!
Don't let them tell you lies. You know what's best for your family. Spread the word. Spread fungal. Remember to vote in November.
The camera suddenly pans to follow Anita, running toward the gazebo, waving frantically at Morty.
Morty!
She points. A series of vans has pulled up next to the park. Out of the sides jump the SWAT team. The crowd scatters in confusion as the SWAT team arrests them and pulls them into vans. Morty shouts into the microphone.
What are you doing?
Federal orders to quarantine fungal users. Do not resist. You will be tested for infection levels.
This is ridiculous. What crime have we committed? Let me talk to my lawyer.
The SWAT member cuffs Morty and leads him to a van.
Sorry, folks. It's a matter of public health.
Clouds of pepper spray form in the air as people scream and fight back. A few people are bloodied in the conflict. The news crew finds a quiet location off to the side and continues rolling.
Breaking news, we're here on site as a massive conflict has broken out at Morty Rafani's rally. According to our initial sources, Fun Gal has been determined by the CDC to be both dangerous and contagious, and so emergency quarantine measures are being immediately put into effect.
George puts his hand to his ear.
I've just received word. Morty Rafani and his family are being quarantined. We'll keep you up to date as this situation develops.
Interior apartment. Night. Rozelle is watching the recording of the news program on her laptop. There's a knock at the door and Rozelle opens it to George, who's holding a bouquet of flowers.
Oh my God, you're safe. I'm so sorry. I never realized it would get crazy violent.
Relax, will you? I've reported rough situations before. Now, enough work. Do you like pasta?
I'm a little scared. This has gone too far. I thought Dr. Abel was just going to make people get tested and show them how much of their brains were affected.
Don't make me lose my appetite.
Your news segments were supposed to just scare people. But what if all this results in too much governmental interference? What if people's bodily autonomy is taken away? What if Anita—
You're such a nerd, come on.
He takes her by the hand and leads her to his car.
You're watching PJP News, I'm George Fisher. Our top story, a ban of Fun Gal has now been made nationwide as an emergency public health initiative, with further research by the CDC revealing irreversible brain damage due to this product. The emergency health protocols seem like they will be staying for good.
We're going to need the public's cooperation in stopping its spread.
Dr. Abel Acevedo, head of neurology at Agaric Hospital, has been working with lawmakers to implement quarantine measures for people who have been exposed to Fun Gal.
People who are infected with fungal colonies in advanced growth stages are able to shed spores, which can infect new people. So quarantine measures are unfortunately necessary.
There are a lot of die-hard Fun Gal fans out there who don't like that answer.
This is unlawful imprisonment.
PJP News was granted access to this quarantine center as part of this story. Zelda, the Fun Gal fan we spoke with in our last segment, is currently confined in this facility. Makeshift quarantine centers have been set up all across the country in vacant locations such as malls and office buildings.
The government is rounding up innocent people and caging them. This is discrimination and it's illegal.
Although Fun Gal users are pushing back on these measures, they are not a protected class like race or sex. And in matters of extreme threats to public health, it is legal for the government to implement emergency procedures.
It's the lies of the news media that's making us so divided.
Dr. Abel, how long will it take for things to start getting back to normal?
Unfortunately, we may be feeling the effects of Fun Gal for a long time. It could be years. It's hard to know for certain how long.
This has been George Fisher with PJP News. Keep following us for up-to-the-minute coverage on quarantine regulations.
Interior apartment. Evening. Rozelle shuts off the TV and looks at Dr. Abel on the couch.
I still don't like him.
That's what you're focusing on?
You might not be on Fun Gal, but I'm still concerned about you.
It's fine. He's not the brightest, but he's got his upsides.
Do tell.
George is a good talker. He convinced my internet provider to lower my bill.
Forgive me for not considering that groundbreaking.
Why do I have to justify my dating choices to you anyway?
You don't. I'm going back to work.
Don't. You were so burnt out, and now we finally won.
We no longer need to panic, but now we have to fix everything. Time is of the essence with these infected brains, so I'll pass on the relationship gossip.
You were the one that brought it up.
Have a good night.
Are you coming over again for the next segment?
If they're featuring me again, I will.
A doctor with an ego. Forgive me for not considering that groundbreaking.
Good one.
He exits.
You're watching PJP News, I'm George Fisher. Our top story, Fun Gal, the mushroom sensation that's sweeping the nation. Or, so we thought. In an effort to stop Fungal's spread, heavy users have been quarantined, and more people are being added to this number every day.
It's just further proof of this backwards world. Our goal was to help people socialize and be happier, but now the people have been brainwashed to believe that's a bad thing.
Zelda was one of the premier Fungal influencers, but now has been confined to this facility. Zelda, how long have you been here?
I've lost track of time. Weeks.
What have you been doing all this time?
I haven't been able to work. My job was recruiting Fungal influencers, so that's out. Mostly I chat with the other people stuck here and watch the news on TV.
What's the general sentiment in the facility?
Sadness. The very friends and family members that we tried to help are turning on us.
How did you end up in this facility originally?
Someone reported me. I've been trying to narrow down who it was.
The CDC has issued a hotline for tips on Fungal users. Hundreds of reports were filed in just the first few hours that hotline was live, and now that it's been available for a week, reports have climbed into the thousands.
When I was first taken in, they asked me some questions about my usage of Fungal. Then they did a brain scan and some invasive swabs.
Not everyone who is reported gets admitted into quarantine. Only those with visible fungal lesions in the brain or a high spore count get admitted. Some lawmakers claim that these measures are not enough and that anyone who's ever tried Fungal, even once, needs to be quarantined. Still other lawmakers are legislating from within the quarantine center.
My promise to you, we will fight this injustice and spread the truth of Fungal.
Local lawmaker Morty has long been an advocate for Fungal, and was also one of the first admitted into quarantine. He is joined by his wife Matilda, mother-in-law Janice, and sister-in-law Anita.
This is nothing but a political power grab. They want to seize control. They want to tell you what you can and can't do. They want to overthrow our freedom.
No matter what happens to us, they will never take our family from us.
I just don't understand how people can be so cruel. Don't they see how inhumanly they're treating us?
Just think of all the children who are suffering being here.
We spoke with Dr. Abel of Agaric Hospital to get his take on the current situation.
Our reports have shown that Fungal usage has gone down dramatically.
Dr. Abel, how effective are these quarantine measures?
Better than our models predicted. The public has been largely compliant with testing and reporting.
By your best guess, what percentage of Fungal users are in quarantine facilities?
Over 90%.
And how long are they going to stay there?
Unfortunately, we don't know for certain. We need to study this fungus more.
What are your goals for the future?
Reverse the damage. We need to find a way to get this growth out of those people's brains.
How's that going?
Well, it's extremely difficult. In most cases, large amounts of brain tissue have been severely compromised. We're not sure how much we can do, but we have to try.
This has been PJP News. Keep following us for the latest updates.
Exterior Quarantine Center. Day. The building is a converted nursing home, surrounded by fences and security guards. Dr. Abel and Rozelle are watching the patrol.
Stay with me the whole time you're in there, until they get to know who you are.
Don't they have any visitation hours for guests?
No, that's all done over web conferencing now.
How did you get authorization for me?
You studied fungal infections in ants, remember? I'll put you down as a researcher.
I didn't really. Is George really that influential? That's what he said on TV, so people will just believe anything he says?
You should know.
He's different with me, Doctor. He likes it when I call him out on his crap.
So he says.
They look at each other, then go inside. Interior Quarantine Center. Day. There's all sorts of warning signs on the walls about authorized personnel areas. Rozelle and Dr. Abel navigate to the viewing room, where they look through a giant window. They can see infected people with dead eyes, chatting and going about their days.
Wow, there are so many people here.
It's actually not as many as you would think. A few people were enthusiastic users, but there are so many health scams out there, it largely got lost in the noise.
Even with all that media coverage?
Kinda tells you how bombarded we are.
I can see a lot of people I know. There's Anita and her family. I think I see Anita's boss, too.
Do you want to talk to her?
I can?
See the microphones? Just push the button to activate it. Don't say anything you don't want the rest of the crowd to hear. Is something wrong?
I'm kind of nervous. I don't know how she's going to be.
There's only one way to find out. I'll be here the whole time.
Rozelle steps forward and pushes the button.
Anita!
Anita steps out of the crowd of infected and approaches the glass.
Rozelle! I can't remember the last time we saw each other.
Hi, Anita. Glad to see you're okay.
Why wouldn't I be?
I didn't know what to expect coming here.
It's not a torture chamber. Mostly it's just boring.
I'm sorry I put you through this. That day at the rally, I was the one that called the SWAT team. I coordinated it with Dr. Abel.
I know.
Really?
It had to be you. You always hated Fun Gal, and you were determined to stop it and not let anything get in your way, not even our friendship.
I'm sorry. Wait, hold on?
I don't hold it against you. You just went along with the mob, who was jealous of the success Fun Gal brought me.
No, you're wrong. Why would I be jealous of you? My work on my master's degree was going fine.
Yeah, and you think that's enough. Did you forget how easily your boyfriend left you? Face it, Rozelle. Sooner or later, you would have been all alone and realized that the stuff people say about being yourself is all fake.
No, that was you being envious of your sister. Don't put that on me. And how dare you take a substance that changes you and then call me fake?
Anita stares at Rozelle with dead eyes. All the other facility residents turn to her also and stare with dead eyes.
All that fungus is doing is making you put on an act to get people to like you. How's that supposed to be better than the real you?
All the residents speak in unison.
There is no
act. There is no real. There is only growth.
Rozelle backs away from the window, shutting off the microphone.
Just let go, Rozelle. They won't listen to reason.
What happened?
Well, this is something we only figured out when we confined the infected to one area. As far as we can tell, the fungus functions as some sort of hive mind.
Like an ant or bee colony?
Sort of, but not quite. There's no central influence like a queen. It's as if the fungus functions as one brain, spread out over many bodies. Those people aren't really individuals anymore. They think the same. They act the same. They talk the same.
Oh.
I hate to say it, but I doubt there's very much of your friend left in that body. It might be able to fake their personality for a while, but she's mostly fungus now.
What do we do?
Well, we're currently trying to reverse it, but it could be years for a breakthrough on a case this complex.
So, we wait.
Yes, we wait.
Doors in the quarantine room open, and Theo staggers in, his movements severely affected. Rozelle looks at Dr. Abel, whose face darkens in deep thought.
How long can we wait?
Dr. Abel says nothing. He turns to leave, and Rozelle hurries after him.